Good morning, and welcome to our second March Menudo Club gathering. This is our first visit to Mamacita's 290, and it feels great to be on the northwest side of our beautiful city. Let's hear a nice round of applause for all of you. Buenos días y bienvenidos a nuestra Junta del Club de Menudo. We are so happy to see so many new faces and hope that you return over and over again. We would like to begin today by acknowledging the staff of this great establishment, so let's have a nice round of applause for Mamacita. Last month, we had an amazing group of speakers, which included former Supreme Court Justice Eva Guzman, and we handed out our 2024 Saturday Menudo Club Hero Awards. I am truly positive that today's speakers and discussions will not disappoint. We at the Menudo Club understand that it is time for major changes, and that is why we are here today, so that we can find ways to improve ourselves and our community through networking, information, and new partnerships. Before we get started with our speakers, let me remind you to please join our website at SaturdayMenudoClub.com, all one word, for more information and future meeting information. We are also on Facebook as the Saturday Menudo Club. I know that everyone is very excited to be here today, but please be kind and respectful to our speakers and try not to have conversations during their presentations. Please remember that if any of you are involved with any community organizations or nonprofits, feel free to bring and display any materials on our walls or on the welcome table, which is full of information for you. Finally, I remind you that here at the Saturday Menudo Club, we respect the importance of your positions and jobs in the community, and we do not require that you silence your phones. If you get an important call, please simply step outside to have your conversation, and no one will look at you funny. On behalf of myself and our two Menudo Club co-hosts, Ms. Carmen Cavazos, who's not here yet, and Andy Valadez, who is running our video, and our new Northwest Menudo Club host, Liz Ramoz, we ask that all of you continue inviting friends to our monthly Saturday Menudo Club meetings and help our club and website grow. At this time, I would like for everyone who can to please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing as Wendy from the Cyprus Republicans leads us in prayer. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wendy, would you like to come up, or do you want to do it from your seat?
I did it. Let's bow our heads, please, in prayer. Lord Jesus, you above all are who we honor, above government, above anything in this world. We ask that you bless each and every one of us to do your will through all of the things that you have given us, such as this wonderful club to deal with and all of the others. We ask that you protect and govern us over everything. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Wendy. And thank you, Cyprus Republicans, for having a great showing here today with us at the Menudo Club. Again, that's what it's all about. You may be seated. Before I get into my opening remarks, I would like to invite our host here today, Liz Ramoz, to come up and say a few words.
My heart
is truly full this morning to see everyone here today. We have several candidates that are here that are running, and I just want to let you guys know that I think we are in a very unique time, and President Trump has put us in this position. I think that we have to step up and we have to run for offices. We have, for too long, too many politicians have promised us what we want to hear, and when they get into office, they betray us. We know who you are. We will primary you. I also want to extend a hand to all of our Latino voters in this area. I think that we need to start holding relationships and conversations with them, because their values are no longer the Democrat values. They are our values. So we need to reach out to them, and we need to form relationships. The other are the young Republicans. I really encourage all of our young Republicans to get involved. If you see a candidate that's running, I personally am thinking about running, and I have reached out to many of them. They are helping out with web pages, with social media. So I really encourage for any candidates that are running to reach out to these young Republicans that are super excited to get the work done. And guys, this is our future. They have fresh eyes. They have a new outlook. So I really encourage for our young Republicans to get involved as well. I'm going to hand it over back to Eduardo so we can hear all the candidates that are here today that are running. And again, thank you. I really am super excited that everyone is here today.
Can everybody hear us? It's okay? Okay. Our third co-host of the Menudo Club just arrived, and I want to present her. Ms. Carmen Cavazos, would you please stand? Since this is our first Menudo Club event here at Mamacita's, and since we have so many new faces here in our group, I would like to begin by giving a brief review of some of the things that the Saturday Menudo Club accomplished in 2024. We began the year with the presentation of our 2023 Menudo Club Heroes Awards. Our members and leadership had many important meetings with some of the state's leading political figures like Governor Abbott, Ted Cruz, and Ken Paxton. We celebrated the Lunar New Year and Cinco de Mayo with the Mariachi Oro de Mi Tierra. In August of 2024, we hosted a judicial forum at Ninfas on the Gulf Freeway, and we sponsored a table at the Boots and Bling Tejano Gala at the Rice Hotel. We hosted a field trip to Trump Burger in Belleville, Texas, with over 90 participants, and what a great field trip that was. Then October rolled around, and the Menudo Club hosted a fundraiser every Thursday in October for different candidates at the Cattlemen's Club at the Wyndham Hotel NRG. Finally, on election night 2024, we hosted a gala reception. The reception also honored the campaign of Nathan Milliron, who is now judge of the 215th Court. And our event was exclusively covered by Telemundo TV. All in all, 2024 was productive and very memorable for the Saturday Menudo Club. So now you know the types of things that we do, and we look forward to continue doing and having you join us. Donald Trump is now our 47th president, and not all good news, guys. He's our 47th president, and things are changing in Washington so quickly that the Democrats and the mainstream media are having trouble keeping up. Here in Harris County, we are already seeing a very passive attitude, as if our local conservatives are laying back and assuming that President Trump will take care of everything. And this is so wrong. We must continue helping President Trump by making Harris County conservative.
Yes.
We cannot continue to let corrupt leadership like Lina Hidalgo, Sylvia Garcia, and Al Green lead our country and county into oblivion. 2025 has begun, and it's up to us to continue advocating for massive conservative change so that our Hispanic community can finally take its place as the American majority, not only in the political realm, but in the cultural landscape also. We are here today to continue saying what?
Ya no mas.
For those of you new to the group, that's our motto at the Menudo Club, and Ya no mas just simply means no more.
That's it.
I would like to update you on some observations that I have made recently. These are things that normally go unnoticed unless you are really, really paying attention. I'm a longtime fan of Jeopardy, and on ABC recently, in their Tournament of Champions, Amy Snyder, who is a transgender contestant, was once again competing. The host, Ken Jennings, asked her about the release of her new book this month, to which she responded that it was actually just a revamp of her original book, which did not do well at all. She said that it had been reformatted now and was going to be re-released this month to target young people and children. So please, please watch out for the release of this book, which I'm sure they're going to be trying to put into the schools for children, where she is talking about her transformation into transgenderism. Okay, this cannot happen. Last year, I had a heated discussion during a Menudo Club meeting with a former Metro chairman over the waste of millions while buses and trains are almost empty. This week, Metro is once again in the news for declining ridership and for leading the nation in passenger injuries. What do we say? Ya no mas. The city of Houston is now implementing a hiring freeze for lack of money in the city budget. And if you saw the new mayor's press conference yesterday, he said that he was always aware of the corruption and abuse in our city government. So I asked, why did he never do anything about it?
Right.
What do we say? Ya no mas. Finally, it is crucial that City Council establish and enforce new guidelines for candidates to inform the city and county if they are suffering from serious health issues. Both Sheila Jackson Lee and Sylvester Turner ran for office knowing that they were terminal. Lina Hidalgo ran and later admitted that her mental issues began way back when she was in college. Ya no mas, mi gente. This has to change. Here today is a great fan and amigo of the Saturday Menudo Club who started out in the business world in 1971 as president and part owner of the Beckner Howell Building Corporation until 1980. He is now the president and owner of Employers Risk Insurance Company. Please help me welcome Harris County Judge candidate Warren Howe.
I'll try to be brief. I'm running on three things, three major things. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, good. How many folks here are over 70 years old? Me too. Or a veteran over 65? There you go. I've drawn up 12 resolutions to give to the Commissioner's Court on day one. The second resolution is to make veterans 65 and older and seniors like myself, 70 and older, tax exempt. Okay, not deferred, tax exempt. We've paid our dues, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's time. Secondly, how many use toll roads here? How many think that the toll road fares are fair?
Should be free by now.
They're not fair, are they? One year they had 600 million in surplus. This year they had 250 million in surplus, and they have spent as much as they can possibly think of. So what are they doing? They're overcharging. So we've got to restructure the Harris County Toll Road Authority to where they have the staff they need, everyone is not being overpaid, and then whatever we can figure out in surplus on a pro rata share, we're going to lower the fees everywhere as far as we possibly can. Okay? I'd love to use that 1% sales tax that they lied to you about in 1983. It said when the toll roads are paid for, you'll get the money back. Remember that lie? Yeah, it was great. Anyway, that ship has sailed now to other issues, so we can't recapture it. Now, the next thing, how many times do you drive up to an intersection and there's a homeless person there who has set up their office, and they're there every day? You know, that's where they do their business. You roll up your window, or you tell your children to roll up your window or go a lane over, right? Because you're concerned about the safety. And that, you know, you may notice also that most accidents happen at intersections, right? Well, I'm surprised we haven't taken a few out during these wrecks. But anyway, I'm going to ban homelessness. It's over. We're going to move them where they need to be. Some need to be in jail, some need to be in an insane asylum. We may have to go to Mississippi and Tennessee because in Texas we don't lock people up that are nuts. You may have noticed that.
Yeah, in Austin.
Yeah, they're in Austin. You ever
Clean is a good example.
There it is. And some, you know, some just want to be homeless. I'll take them to Greyhound bus. We'll buy them a ticket to the city of their choosing. Okay? We've got a 250 bed temporary hospital that our nutcase Lena, pardon my French, built and never used. So at 250 beds, we'll set it up, and that'll be some of our transitioning. Okay? But it's over. It will be now. So I've got many, many more things that I want to do. You know, I ran in 2022. I didn't really have a good feel for what needed to be done, nor how could I do it. This time I know how to do it, and I know what we need to do. And now Sam Malone is handling my media. Well, I was talking to him yesterday. He said, "You realize I was supposed to retire this year, and so if I do this, my retirement's gone. But I'm willing to do it. It's not that I need a job, because I don't need a job, but I need to do this. So I'm Warren Howell, and I appreciate your support."
Next, we welcome a great supporter of the Menudo Club who fought a very tough fight for the 7th Congressional District last election cycle. Today, she will be telling us of an exciting school choice rally with Governor Greg Abbott at the state capitol. The Menudo Club presents the amazing Caroline Kane.
Thank you so much. I'm a little embarrassed. Thank you so much, Eddie. It is Martha Fierro. If you guys remember her, she ran an exceptional race for Senate District 5, I believe, for state senate. She has put together this trip to Austin. It's going to be March 11th, so next week, and the meetup time is going to be 6 a.m. I-10 in Kirkwood. There'll be breakfast, lunch at the Capitol, and dinner served at no charge, you guys, and this group is going to meet with the governor. I want to throw my 2 cents in on this school choice issue. Most of you know that I'm a constitutionalist, and that means the state constitution and the U.S. Constitution. So right now, our homeschoolers have protection under a Supreme Court ruling from the 1990s. Such that CPS was coming after parents who homeschool. Went all the way to the Supreme Court. We have, as homeschoolers, protections. What happens if we legislate over that is now we've made it unsteady ground again. Anything in regard to CPS coming after homeschoolers would have to go through the court system again to get those protections, because you are now allowing federal dollars to follow children. So Greg Abbott has said, if you looked at the most recent bill, he has said that children who are homeschooled will need to take a test. Now all they have to do is write their name on the test, but they still have to take a test. I don't know what that is. I know that South Carolina in their bill said that there will be wellness checks on homeschooled children in their school choice bill. So this whole word or terminology, school choice, is a buzzword throughout the entire nation. When it's a buzzword like that throughout the entire nation, it makes me think that there's some kind of an agenda behind it. They want back into the lives of our homeschoolers. They don't have access to them right now. So just be very cautious. I don't want to weaken anybody's federal protections. So anyway, God bless you guys. Thank you so much.
We all know that the crime in Houston is only getting worse. Thursday night, a 14-year-old boy named Javon Thompson was shot and killed near North Fry and Westville, York. 19-year-old Irwan Paez was shot and killed February 27th at a McDonald's in Aldine. Also Thursday night, a 14-year-old boy was found shot to death near a retention pond on High Stone Lane in Katy. And I could go on and on, not to mention the road rage incidents that we continue hearing about, the bail bond situation, and the bad judges that truly need to be voted out. Here to update us on crime and the bail situations in 2020 is 2023 Menudo Club Hero Award recipient and owner of First Advantage Bail Bonds. He is also the president of the Professional Bondsmen of Harris County Association. It is with great pleasure that the Saturday Menudo Club presents to you Senor Mario Garza.
Good afternoon.
Closer.
Closer.
There you go.
Closer.
The closer you are, the better you sound.
So many people in this room are like me. You get to a point in your life where you start having things that you believe in. And there comes this fork in the road where you have to make a decision about what you're willing to put on the line. You know, you can sit on your couch and you can complain and you can do all these things, but many people in here who are older than me and don't need this hassle have put it all on the line. I'm one of those people. I'm a bail bondsman. I watch crime. I watched it begin in 17 and 18. I wouldn't have believed it unless I'd seen it with my own eyes. It was always coming in Harris County. It also makes me understand, as somebody who's raised a Democrat, why so many Democrats jump ship, why Latinos in particular jump ship. Because you're selling them this victim mentality. And so as I track crime, because I'm watching certain people and I'm going, There's no accountability. So the people that are pushing these type of things are wrecking our whole county. You can't, and again, for me, public safety is a nonpartisan issue. I want everybody to be safe, no matter what side of the line they're on. I want your kids to go to the park. I don't want these shootings. That's not by accident. If you're not holding adults accountable, what do you think juveniles are going to do? They're going to go off the rails. That's what's happening. This is all connected. What I'm holding here is, this is a stack of PR bonds. You've heard of PR bonds? Personal recognizance. Personal bonds. I basically sign my name, say I'll come back. This is 30 days worth.
Wow.
On each page is 20 names. That's 1,600 people let out from January 19th to February 20th. Now, I've isolated where these PR bonds are. I can go back years too, but I'm giving you a taste because it's too massive. But I'm just showing you a snapshot. Because this is county info. They can't lie their way around this. This is what it is. Bondsmen got scapegoated in all this. We're the ones, we're bailing people out. Let me tell you something. I've been in bail 18 years. We were never this unsafe until you started letting people out of jail for free. Which has nothing to do with us, but yet we were scapegoated. Mind you, in this list are felonies.
Yep.
DWI's third, fourth. Manufacturer delivery, they're moving drugs. What do you think happens when they get that PR bond? They get a free lawyer too. Why do you think the county and the city's going broke? Because they fund a bottomless hole. It's unsustainable. You can't do it. New York, Chicago, LA, here, everywhere where bail reform is rolled out, all those cities have gone to crap. Because everybody's a victim. So it's all connected. I got involved. I got attacked for speaking, but I'm like, hey, the truth is always going to be the truth. That's where my feet stand solid on ground, You can attack me all you want, but this is going to be true whether you like me or not. There's also a legal precedent to that. The O'Donnell case, which is O'Donnell versus Harris County, which was passed, or there was a consent decree, which is Commissioner's Court, who agreed to that consent decree to let people out of jail in 2019. Or 2019, October. It's a federal case. The sad part about that is the people on the left that like these type of programs say things like, people are held in jail unconstitutionally. But there's a 5th Circuit Court of Appeals ruling that said defendants didn't have a right to affordable bail. That means they don't have a right to free bond. But that doesn't get talked about. Every time I've spoken, mind you, I was a paralegal, but I am not a licensed attorney. I've just been a bondsman, a paralegal, but even I can read that opinion and understand it. So even when I talk to lawyers and they come up with all these things, like I just say, well, what did the 5th Circuit say, right? And then they name call, right? And that's what people pivot to when they run an argument. So the Menudo Club has adopted me as their stepchild, right?
We'll take the heat with you, bro.
Right. So I was so moved that I created a nonprofit called Take Back Our City, which is for victims of crime. I deal with a lot of crime victims from Crime Stoppers and parents of murdered children. I've been dealing with it for 4 years. That to me is what sparked outrage and anger. Because these people have children that are lost to violent murder and they're never coming back. And I'm not waiting around for it to land on my doorstep or your doorstep or anybody. Because that's where we're at. Every time you turn the TV on, we're number 3 for murder in the U.S. We used to be 23. I don't know where we're at. We might even be higher than that. But I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm not trying to scare people. But I think you are owed the truth. When you got mayors and people telling you that, crime is going down. You got police chiefs hiding crime numbers. Cases that were never investigated. That's all meant to keep crime down and say it's all working. So, Eduardo gives me time every so often to speak. This data, I can image it, I can email it to anybody. Because you guys are also soldiers that are going to go talk And you're gonna have this data, and you're gonna go, if I'm lying, then why do I got this? Because that's the only thing that pushes back against something like that. But it's ugly. And I'm not saying that people don't deserve to be out on bail, but bondsmen did that. We only have a 10% failure to appear rate. Harris County has an 85% failure to appear rate. So what does that mean? Why do you think you see all the high-speed chases with cops? Because when the cops try to pull them over, they're already wanted for something. That's why they run.
I just see one coming in.
DWIs are getting out for $100. First, second, and third. Well, they're getting out on PRs. They're in this stack too. But we lead the nation in fatalities behind DWIs. Do you really think it's a good idea to let people out for $100? Assault, domestic violence. What are you seeing? Uptick in murder, domestic violence, couples, murder, suicide. Because they don't, the way crime is being handled, even on the Republican side, because they're giving up misdemeanors, right? Oh, we don't want to worry about that. So you only care when they do something really bad, right? That's not the way. It's like raising children. You stop your kids when they're telling small lies. You don't wait for them to start telling big lies and then confront the issue. You start when they're young. That's the way bail should be handled. You handle them when they're doing misdemeanors. Not only that, it creates reform. So that later in their life, when they're 30 and they're looking back, they're going, man, I'm sure glad I didn't graduate to that felony. So it's better for the whole community. But that's my spiel, that's my why I got involved and why I say what I say. If it's offensive, then you should be offended by what you're pushing. You should be more offended by that. My name is Tony Garza. I'm a bail bondsman. This data I will give to anybody. I'm not holding it. So thank you for letting me speak.
We here at the Menudo Club are planting the seeds for the future of Houston by nurturing great potential candidates for future office that know their data, that know their statistics, and know what is going on in Harris County and what needs to be done, such as Mario Garza. You're going to hear from him and others from the Menudo Club, because that is what we're doing, is we're getting these people ready. Okay, moving along, let's see. Our next speaker is a fireball activist for protecting women's sports, education reform, ending child mutilation, vaccine mandates, and many other conservative issues. I always enjoy watching her energy at different rallies. The Menudo Club now presents Carolyn B. Bryant.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? I am so excited to be here, and thank you so much for this invitation and an opportunity to speak before you. This is my sophomore season running for office. Last season I ran for congressional office in District 7, where I finished third in the running, which gave me hope that there was a chance to come back. This go round, I'm going to focus on the Texas House, District 134, and I'm back to talk about the same issues, unfortunately, and that is protection of our children. I ran my entire campaign on protecting the children in one way or the other. I was told that there are more important things going on, which I do agree, but I don't think there's very much more important than protecting our children. Our children are the future. So when it comes to how they are being educated, how they are being indoctrinated, how they are being poisoned and vaccinated, and lastly, how they are being mutilated, I think we all should be concerned about that one way or another. So here's the landscape. In my district, on the congressional level, we have Lizzie Fletcher, The incumbent in House District 134 is Ann Johnson, and on the Senate District of 15, there's Molly Cook. All three of them believe boys should be playing sports with girls, that boys who identify as girls should be allowed in our bathrooms, in our locker rooms. They also believe that it is the parents' right or it is okay to mutilate children who are confused and suffering from gender dysphoria. It's gonna take a village, guys. Like me or not, if you like my policy, we've got to get these people out of office. And if you're looking at the incumbent overall, she was also a part of the committee to get Ken Paxton impeached. So that tells you a lot about where she is. In my district, it is heavily Democratic, but we have quite a few independents that have moved that we can flip. The last candidate, Audrey Douglas, does anybody know her? See, that's the thing. She ran against Ann, nobody remembers her, nobody knows her, but she almost got half the votes. And she didn't even campaign. So that was good news to me, that if I launch a solid campaign, that we have a very good chance of flipping House District 134. Thank you so much. If you are looking for me, website's on the way. I'm getting an early start this time. Spread the word. I'm open to any level of questions, and you should know that you're going to have a staunch ally in the House when elected to protect your children. I'm a fireball. I'm a straight shooter, and I am going into my campaign with the most transparency. I'm not hiding where I stand. I think the voters deserve to know exactly where you stand. So when I shake your hand and look you in your eye, I can tell you it's a no for me, and you can vote for me or you can vote for the other person. Thank you so much.
As I was sitting here talking to y'all, I keep seeing in the corner of my eye one of the servers. His name is Isael, and every time I see him in the corner of my eye, I think Zelensky's here. So I just want y'all to know that if you're confused also, you can give money to this one. Our next speaker is a staunch supporter of the Second Amendment. He believes that the right to bear arms is not just a constitutional privilege, but an essential safeguard of personal liberty and security. He is firmly against excessive government spending, particularly with regard to the funding for Ukraine. He had to drop out of a very difficult race last year for health reasons, but now we are very happy to see that he is back stronger than ever. Let's hear it for U.S. Senate candidate Andrew Alvarez from Victoria, Texas.
From the plains to the city, where the real Texans dwell, there's a man with a mission. You can hear the bell. He's the rhino hunter, with a heart so true. Andrew Alvarez, he's coming for you. Fight, fight, fight for Texas with fight. Rhino hunter, he's the one in the fight. With every step he takes, he's cleaning out the land. For the Senate seat, he's our man. In the halls of power, where the rhinos run.
Houston, Texas, how are y'all doing? I got one question for y'all. One question for y'all. Y'all ready to go rhino hunting? I get that response all the time. My name is Andrew Alvarez. I am your candidate for U.S. Senate. I'm here to primary the rhino, John Cornyn. But I do want to address the elephant in the room, no pun intended. Even though I have an eye patch, I'm not the other guy with the eye patch. Though I do want his stock portfolio.
You can smell the rhinos too.
Yeah. So as Eduardo mentioned, I'm a staunch Second Amendment activist. I am a constitutional purist. I believe in the Constitution. As the lady said, the state and the U.S. Constitution. I believe it is an awesome document. Second Amendment. We deserve the right to protect ourselves from enemies, foreign and domestic, as in the foreign terrorists known as the Mexican cartels. Also, from tyranny. I was down in Brownsville last week campaigning. While I was there was an IED explosion right across the border. Killed 2 American ranchers, injured another. The border wall is still open. There is literal gaps in the border. When I am elected as your senator, I will fight with Donald Trump to secure that border. Keep it secure. I will also fight for the good people to come over quickly. E-Verify. My friend, State Representative in District 30, AJ Louderback, is an advocate for E-Verify. If we can do a background check here in the United States in, 30 minutes nowadays? There's no reason why someone should take 10 years that is a good person to be legalized. Let's get the good ones over, kick the bad ones out. While I was in Brownsville, I got them saying 3 words. What are those 3 words? Ya no más. Through our grassroots campaign efforts, I've been able to reach out to El Paso. And in fact, I spent a week in El Paso during my travels around the country. Across from one of the most dangerous cities in the world, Juarez. El Paso is one of the safest cities in Texas. I was down in McAllen. I was almost a part of border wars, literal automatic gunfire and border patrol. Do y'all know what the difference is in the 2 cities? The wall. The wall is there. So I will fight to keep that secure. John Cornyn has been in office over 20 years. 20 years too long. He has helped Ukraine fund their endless war. Billions of dollars sent to Ukraine, to Zelensky. Where is he at?
He went back.
He went back. John Cornyn has sat there while USAID has sent billions of dollars to other countries, to entities domestically. One of my favorite ones. $2 million to Egypt. For what? Tourism. Houston has veterans sleeping on the streets that can't take care of themselves. Yet this payaso is sending millions of dollars to other countries before taking care of our country first. I am a Christian. The Bible says to help other people. It says to love other people. No matter who they are, we've got to get out there and love. But what does it also say? We've got to take the stake out of our eye before we try to take the splinter out of somebody else's. Meaning, we cannot be a blessing if we are incapable. And Texas has problems. The United States has problems. I've seen people in Chicago commit atrocious crimes during my travels. But we're sending money other places. 3 words. What are they?
Ya no más.
Ya no más. I will fight to keep our money here. In fact, I'm already working on plans and resolutions to keep your money in your pocket. You already pay taxes. Why do you have to pay taxes on other funds that you've been taxed on already? Why? So we can fund endless wars other places? So we can pad the pockets of billionaires? Now, I'm all for capitalism, don't get me wrong, I would not be a conservative if I wasn't capitalist. That's who I am. But there's no reason why you should be taxed on money that you've already paid taxes on, and then pay taxes on it again every year. So I'm already working with people and be working with friends like Representative Michael Cloud, District 27, I'm sorry, who is not only part of the Freedom Caucus, who is also part of the Doge Committee. I'm working with groups right now. We're finalizing some details for the primary John Cornyn PAC. We're going to get this done, ladies and gentlemen.
Amen.
One way or another, we're going to get this done. A little background about me. As Eduardo said, I had to drop out of a race because of my health issues. I spent 2 months in a hospital bed on Gulf Freeway called Kindred, literally fighting for my life. And ironically, it happened the Tuesday after one of the Menudo Club meetings. But we're not going to go there. But either way, I spent 2 months. I had to learn to walk again. I suffered from pulmonary edema, macular edema that took my sight. But I can see clearly the fact that things are moving in the right direction with Donald Trump in office. But it is my duty when I get in office, not if, when.
Yeah, that's right.
I will support his decisions by helping him codify what he's doing. All of these executive actions that he's taking are great for 4 years. Temporary. Heck, I'm even saying they're great up until the midterms. Because the current Republicans give up. That was evident during Al Green's censure. What happened when he gave himself up to the well and all the other Democrats were there singing? What did they do? Mike Johnson banged the gavel, recessed, and gave up.
They were all in.
They were all, yes.
In decorum.
Ya no más. I am running to be your senator. The senator represents the state. You are the state. You are the state. You can find more information about that campaign because there's a lot of other people here that I want you to hear. My website, fightfortx.com. Together, we can all primary the rhinos out there. And I'm not in cahoots with any rhinos right now. I don't like them.
Yeah.
I would rather hang out with a Democrat than a rhino. Because I know a Democrat. A Democrat knows a Democrat, they're a Democrat, they tell me they are a Democrat. A rhino is a Republican in name only. No more rhinos. No mas. So, I'm gonna do something real quick. Pardon me while I stumble away over here. Hey, John Cornyn. Houston has 3 words for you. Guys, thank y'all so much. I love each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a great day.
Throne free. He's the one we need. He's the one we'll see. With his voice for the people, he'll cut through the lie.
Man, fun as President Trump's congressional address. Next, we present an attorney with over 27 years of experience practicing civil law. He is also a small business owner who attended the University of Mississippi. After college, he went to work for the CIA in Washington as an intelligence research specialist analyst. He then attended the South Texas College of Law in Houston. He and his wife Carol have 3 grown children who all live in the Houston area. He is a great supporter of the Saturday Menudo Club, and I am so proud to call him amigo. We present to you Mr. Brian Staley.
All
right, thank you, Eduardo, and thanks for inviting me here to, this is a great turnout. I want everybody in here to think back 16 years. It was 2009. Obama had just taken office. Democratic judges just swept into Harris County. And all right, 16 years ago. And the oldest cases on the Harris County trial docket were filed. We got 9 Republicans got elected in this last election, and they're down on the bench. And I've been talking to them, and the oldest cases on their docket date from 16 years ago. 16 years. You file a lawsuit, it's 16 years later, you're still waiting to go to trial. Coincidentally, that was the year the Democrats swept into office in Harris County. Now, what have they been doing down there for the last 16 years? Not very much. They've been collecting their paychecks. You've been paying them. You've been paying their staff. You're paying to keep the lights on, the air conditioner running. Janitorial staff come in and vacuum empty courtrooms, I suppose. Now, I couldn't really believe this, but I've got a couple of friends down there, and I went by their offices, and we were visiting. I was asking them how it was going, and they were showing me their dockets, and they're trying to work through cases that are 16 years old. Parties have moved away. There was one attorney, he had left the country, moved out of state. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. And you're paying for it. Millions of dollars every year go to pay for these courts, and you're not getting your money's worth at all. And that's what happens when Democrats come into office. Things are neglected. Public affairs aren't being taken care of. They're making money though. They're doing fine. The other thing I found out is that there was evidence all throughout in these chambers. That's what they call the court's offices. They've got a suite of offices behind each courtroom, and they were trashed. Terrible situations. Water leaking. You could tell no one had been up there. There was evidence that some of these judges hadn't been into work for 6 months. They hadn't even been in the office. But they were talking to the staff, and they're like, the judge hadn't been in here since June. That's a neglect. And that's outrageous. The Texas Supreme Court has issued guidelines saying that cases, once you file it, should be going to trial in 18 months. Not 18 years, 18 months. These cases are supposed to be going to trial. You file a lawsuit, you should be going to trial a year and a half later. 16 years later, some of these people are still waiting for court. That's ridiculous. And this is in the civil courts. Mario's told you a little bit about what's going on in some of the criminal courts. Now, I ran this last time. My name is Brian Staley. I just ran for the 333rd. And I lost by about 4,500 votes, 0.3% of the vote. A little bit more turnout, we would have made it. We had one judge, Michael Landrum, lost by 745 votes. A little bit more turnout on the parts of the Republicans, and we'd have, well, a few more judges. But what's even more upsetting to me, and probably to you, is when you went in there to the ballot box and you saw some of the Democrats were unopposed. I don't like that any more than you do. That's one of the reasons I'm running, is to make sure that every Democrat has got a Republican opponent. What we're doing right now is really far out. I have announced, I was one of the first ones, we're really far out, and we're going to start, some of you I know, come around and they sign our petitions to get on the ballot. That's going to be starting up this summer. We start that up in June. We don't even have the forms finalized yet, so it's still too early, but that's when the campaigns start. We've already started, we've hit the ground running, we've already started lining up people. But we could use your help. If you know a lawyer, you've got a friend of yours, you've got a family member, and you think they'd make a good judge, they're a conservative, they're a good Republican, go up to them and say, you know what, you'd make a good judge. And all they have to do is call the Harris County Republican Party. You can contact me, S.J. Swanson, and Jessica Padilla. They're heading up the effort to recruit. We've already got over half, my understanding is, but we're always looking for good candidates. And we also may have an opportunity here soon. My understanding is the Harris County Commissioner's Court has requested the legislature fund 5 new court positions in Harris County. So if those get credited by the legislature, Governor Abbott will get to fill those, so we'll have more Republicans. Now what's important about this, we're hoping, we're waiting for the legislature to act, is we've had 70 judicial positions. Most of your local office holders are judicial in Harris County. And so we're going to have 70 openings. And so I started talking about this a little bit in the last campaign. We get Republicans into these positions, it helps the Republican effort overall. We'll be able to raise money, we'll be able to support people, instead of going around and talking to your groups like the Cypress Republicans or asking for money and support. We can give you money and support, which is the whole idea. And the Democrats know this, they're doing the same thing on their side, so that's what's important with these positions. These other jobs and these other positions are fantastic, but there's a huge number of candidacies, and as we were talking about, this very much affects the quality of life here in Harris County. We can bring down crime rates, we can resolve these disputes. We also have a lot of juvenile courts open, family courts, and everybody knows about the problems we've got going on over in the family courts. They're not working the way they're supposed to either, not getting the good results. So we need your support, we need your help. We got a lot of it this last election. Y'all did great. I know a lot of faces in this room that were supporting us and helping us come out and knocking on doors, and we appreciate all of it. And the time is early, but we have begun. But if you know somebody that wants to run, they can contact me, they can contact the Republican Party, and we can get them in touch with people and we can get them set up. And I appreciate all your support and your help and for coming out here today. Thank you very much.
I just want to announce that we are looking to do a little kind of like a workshop on menudo. So if you have somewhere at home a menudo recipe, we would love for you to send it to us or to give it to us, because at some point we're going to get together to try to award the best menudo recipe that we can find. Also, we are planning another field trip. And what I would like to do is to have us go down to Austin during the legislative session and meet with a couple of state reps and stuff like that. So we will be announcing a field trip to Austin pretty soon. Also, I'm very excited to announce that if you go to the SaturdayMenudoClub.com, our website, we now have these wonderful Saturday Menudo Club cups that you can order at our website. So we encourage all of you to go and order your Saturday Menudo Club cup.
You need a gold Menudo.
Okay, our next, our next presenter stands as a steadfast champion of conservative values and is dedicated to fighting for what's right for Texas and America. A battle-tested Army officer who knows the true meaning of service and sacrifice. He's a successful businessman and decorated veteran. He promises to always put Texas first, which sounds great to me. Welcome to the podium, U.S. Senate candidate Barrett McNabb.
And thank you very much to Liz Ramoz for inviting me to this. I'm really excited to be here. So my name is Barrett McNabb, and I am a senatorial candidate for the 2026 election to primary John Cornyn. And I am absolutely proud to be here talking to you. So as I move from county to county, I get asked 3 types of questions. 1, what makes you qualified? 2, do your values align with my values? And 3, what problem are you going to solve for me? All right? So let's talk about my qualifications. So as mentioned in the bio, I'm a retired United States Army officer. I spent the preponderance of my time as an infantry paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division, where I did my camping trips to Iraq and Afghanistan. I really want to impress upon you that amount of service was shared by many of my cohort in the Gen X and Gen Z and millennials. Okay? So this is not a singular effort. As a small business owner, I know how to create jobs. I wanted to retire, but my wife said, hey, look, when you retire from the Army, you gotta go get a job. And I said, well, I just want to play golf. She said, no, you gotta go get a job. We're not gonna do that. So I became a franchisee with the Joint Chiropractic, and when I retired from the Army, I was afraid that I was not gonna find an organization that was people-centric again. And I found that with the Joint Chiropractic, because we don't sell any products, we just fix problems, fix pain, fix mobility, and it's really a people business. And that's what I found out what politics is as well. It's a people business. So here I am going from the U.S. Army, which is a people-centric organization. Now don't get me wrong, we have lots of cool tanks and helicopters and all kinds of cool stuff. But it's people. It's people that drive all of that. Going into being a small business owner, it's people that drive that organization. I know the sacrifices it takes to look at when there were closures all across our state for COVID-19. Where am I going to make payroll? Do I mortgage my house so that I can take care of my employees more than I take care of myself? All right, and that's going to be a theme that you're going to hear from me, is taking care of others more than I take care of myself. I think I'll tell you a quick story. So when 9/11 happened, I know a lot of people say, where were you when 9/11 happened? I was an air assault rifle platoon leader on the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. That's where I was when 9/11 happened. And after it came time for my next duty station, I had made kind of a name for myself in Korea. And a positive name, that is. And they said, look, you can get your choice of duty station. Where is it that you want to go? And I said, well, I want to go fight, because I know there's a fight coming. I want to go to the 82nd Airborne Division at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, which has been renamed back to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. For the record, I never stopped calling it Fort Bragg.
Yeah. Me either.
Yeah. So when I got to Fort Bragg, I got to my company, and it was a heavy weapons anti-tank company. And what that is it's vehicles that have tow missile launchers and automatic grenade launchers that shoot ping-pong sized grenades at 400 rounds a minute, and it's every bit as cool as it sounds. So we load up parachutes on these vehicles, throw them out of the airplanes, and then jump out after them. All right? And then we take all the parachutes off and then go into combat. My company commander said, look, Barrett, you have a great reputation coming from your former commanders out in Camp Casey, South Korea. I have 2 platoons that are open. The first platoon is the best platoon in the company. It has not had a platoon sergeant for over a year because the platoon, hasn't had a platoon leader for over a year because the platoon sergeant is so good it does not need an officer to run that platoon. If you choose that platoon, I can write your officer evaluation right now. You will be promoted to captain, and you will have an amazingly successful career. And then I have 3rd platoon. 3rd platoon is the worst platoon in the company. The platoon sergeant just got a DUI. It has the worst physical fitness in the battalion, not just in the company. It is the worst marksmanship scores in the battalion. And I can also write your officer evaluation right now if you choose that platoon. You will not be promoted, more than likely. The platoon leader is being relieved. Which platoon do you want? Sir, I'll take the leadership challenge platoon. Why? Why take the leadership challenge platoon? Because I believe in servant leadership. Servant leadership is a core function of my persona. So I walked to the platoon, I met them. The platoon leader that was being relieved was there, and his last words as he walks out of the room, well, I hope you have better luck with them than I did. All right, what a leader. So he walks out the door, everybody's got their heads hanging low. And I said, men, pick your heads up. We're going to get this through together, and I promise you, I give you my word, I will not let you down. Notice I did not say, I'm not going to let you let me down. I will not let you down. So let's change to our physical fitness and go for a run. So we went out for a run, and about half the platoon fell out of the run. So we had to do lots of loops to catch everybody back up. We got together and everybody was exhausted. Okay, go get showered. So we go on a field exercise with the company, and the platoon sergeant has kind of been real quiet. And I said, hey, what's going on? Well, sir, I don't know if you know, but I'm on the bad list with the first sergeant of the company because I got a DUI. And I said, I heard about that. But what I want to know is, what are you going to do for me now? We can't fix the past. That happened before I got here. What are you going to do for me now? Well, sir, I'm going to be the best platoon sergeant you've ever seen. I said, there you go. Let's move forward. So as we move on and we improve marksmanship, we get to a period of time where every single soldier, including the person who had the worst physical fitness, makes the run. And I told my platoon sergeant, I want that person promoted, I want that soldier promoted by the end of the week. I don't care what it has to, what I have to sign. We're going to make sure that that person goes from private first class to specialist. Well, sir, it's going to be really hard. I don't care. I don't care what I have to sign. This is the moment where everybody is congratulating him, and we're going to reward him. And he got promoted. I took that platoon from the worst platoon in the company to having the best physical fitness in the battalion, the highest marksmanship scores in the battalion, to be selected for the division ready force. And what that is, there's a battalion that's on 2-hour recall, permanent recall. It rotates around, and it is activated by the National Command Authority, which is the President of the United States and the National Security Bureau. Those troops can be anywhere in the world in 18 hours, having an airborne rifle battalion, anywhere in the world with all their equipment. And they were selected twice to be part of that. Now, when the initial invasion into Iraq happened, my company was sliced off and attached to the Joint Special Operations Unit, JSOC. And we worked with CIA as well. There are all kinds of task force. And our mission was to escort a brand new piece of equipment at the time in 1993. So brand new, 2003. So brand new, the Army hadn't purchased it yet. So Lockheed Martin loaned it to us. And it's in the news now, but it was the HIMARS. So I was part of the first operational deployment of the HIMARS, and the Army hadn't bought it yet. They were on loan. And they did great, wonderful things. But as we got led to the border by the CIA, this is all declassified now. You can get all this online. But as we were led to the border by the CIA, that platoon was the tip of the spear to go across. And why do people seek to be the tip of the spear of anything? I mean, you get shot at first, right? Well, that is what we're trained to do. That is what we're trained to do. Now, by that time, I got promoted, and I became the executive officer. I was second in command of the company. So, unfortunately, I had to give that platoon up. But still, I was able to see that platoon fulfill its mission. But again, why? Well, there was a woman with children who worked a double shift and paid her taxes. There were people who counted on that platoon to be the absolute best it needed to be. And I'm willing to take the risk and raise my hand and say, choose me, because I'm ready, I'm prepared. I'm prepared to be the next senator from the great state of Texas. And why? Because I'm going to do what you want. What you want. Everybody is for less taxes. Everybody is for the Second Amendment that's going to be primary to John Cornyn. I'm also a federal firearms license holder, so not only do I defend the Second Amendment, but I make it as well. So I ask that you trust me and ask me those questions of what makes you qualified. Do my values align with yours? And what problem am I going to solve? And I hope to earn your vote as I move from county to county in this great state of ours. Thank you.
And I'm glad to announce that actually we are right on schedule, even though we have all of these speakers. because our usual meeting time is from 11:30 to 1:30. So we have just enough time for our final two people. At this time, I don't have much information that I can tell you about her because she walked into the meeting, but I do want her to speak to you because she is a candidate. I would like for you to welcome Ms. Carmen Montiel.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Thank you. Well, I swear to God that I was not going to do this again. God, 2022 hit me so hard, and Kevin McCarthy put his number on against all MAGA people. He came to town to attack me. That made the news. But you know he's gone. All rhinos are gone, and God apparently is talking to all of us. We have a razor-thin majority in Congress. We need to desperately flip a seat. And sadly, may he rest in peace, Sylvester Turner passed away on Wednesday. That opens the opportunity for a vacant seat in District 18, which I already ran successfully against all odds because we know what happened. Jeff Phil was my field director. There is a lot of things happening there, but we are in a new world. We can implement everything Trump did in these last elections. Do not steal it. We need to flip this district. It's mostly Latino, 47% Latino, and it is time we start taking our city back one district at a time. We need to start with the districts. They still say, oh, no, and I understand we need to get the judges desperately. But how people are gonna go down the ballot if they're not incentivized with the top of the ballot? So we need to get good candidates that incentivize the people to go from the top to the bottom, Republican. We need to save this country. I told you, I am a legal immigrant. I came legally to this country as a student. I was never able to get back to Venezuela as things deteriorated there. I saw how things were happening very similar in the United States. We need to be active and proactive. We need to stop seeing we cannot do it because that's the problem with Republicans. Oh, that's a Democrats. We cannot do it. If we give up without starting, we're never gonna get there. And I said we have a razor-thin majority in Congress. We need to make sure that Donald Trump agenda gets passed. We take the districts, we take our judges, we take down Lina Hidalgo. Guerrilla girl, as I call her, and I need all your support. With great things are happening. It was like, it's been since Wednesday, very weird, very fast, but we're doing this because then we need to take District 7 back. It was ours. You know, it's unbelievable how Republicans go, oh, that's a Democratic district. We cannot even try. Oh, but they come and take ours. District 7 was ours. How come it's gone? You know, let's stop not giving up. Let's fight like Trump taught us. Okay? I'm here because I'm a survivor also of domestic abuse. I went through hell and I fought with my nails for my children and myself. And I belong to the less than 2% of the people that wins against the federal government. That will tell you I will never let the federal government take anything away from any of you. Like I did not let them to take it from me and my children. So I hope to come with your support. Let's do this. We need to start taking a district in the city of Houston. And I think Al Green is going to be gone next. Okay?
And speaking of Al Green, I am forming an exploratory committee because I'm in his district and it may be time to throw my hat in the ring. What do we say to Al Green? Yeah, no, yeah, my vote. By the way, those of you who have my cards, and if you want, I'll give you my information. Please email me or text me, because we have to start like in elementary school with the simple things. And so I have the information, which we never talk about Al Green and the sexual abuse lawsuit that he settled with one of his former people, which was not the first time he was accused. Okay, so if you want that information to share on Facebook, please text me or Facebook me, become my friend, and I will send you those little things, because that has to be circulated. Okay, we can. That's how we need to start fighting back.
Post that on your Facebook page, the Menudo page.
I'll put it on the Menudo page. Yes. Okay, our final speaker is somebody who I rely on very much so. He's like my eyes and ears at the Capitol sometime when I can't be there. And he always has some wonderful information for us, Mr. Mark Gullaby.
All right.
Thank you, Eduardo, and that is absolutely exciting news. So I'm very happy to be sitting there working for you. Absolutely wonderful. So what are we going to do? I'll tell you one thing that we did to Ya No Mas, right? And that is corporate welfare, right? We went through and we did Ya No Mas, and they turned around and said, not for you, we're going to do it. What's again in Spanish?
Otra vez.
Otra vez. Well, otra vez, okay? We need to go through and get rid of corporate welfare, and we need to get rid of Chapter 403. The other thing that we've been working on is the transparency of Robin Hood, and I know a lot of people don't know all the weeds on that, okay? But this is a $4 billion fund that the more I dig into it, the less answers I get as to what they do with this money, all right? And while it doesn't come from the Cy-Fair area, it is coming from Spring Branch, it is coming from all over the state, right? And the Texans deserve to know what happens to $4 billion, right, that goes into the state coffers. And we deserve to know what they do with it. We deserve to know how it applies to our education, right? Public education. And we need to know that if this isn't really necessary, then let's give it back to the school districts that are paying this money, right? It's all about accountability. It's all about transparency. And then finally, the other thing I'm working on is adoption and foster care. I got involved in this at the state convention, all right? And as I've pulled back and got more and more and more involved in it, it's very, very fascinating. But we've got two very exciting bills that are in there. One is Senate Bill 425, and that's from Senator Kolkhorst, and that's to go through and look at the whole foster care system across the state and create a more homogeneous network that works the same no matter what county you're in. I was in a meeting, Mace Middleton was there, I get brought up, oh, you know what? If a child in Fort Bend gets treated a lot different than a child in Harris County. One county line and a child in the foster care system can get treated one way or the other. That's not fair. These kids get moved around a lot, okay? And it's not fair that we go through there and put those children through that kind of pain. The other thing, you see that's got a House bill from Candy Noble, 1502. So Senate Bill 425, please get online, start telling your people to support that, get your senators and your representatives to get behind Senate Bill 425, HB 1502. There's another bill from Steve Toth on creating more of adoption through the churches, all right, through the faith-based type adoption. And as we go through there, I think that's going to become more and more. We need to go through and get our faith-based institutions, all right, to start taking this role. The state is taking it. It's really not working. Anybody who's involved knows and gets involved with the foster care system realizes pretty soon it's just something that a government entity is not really designed to do. The governments don't have compassion. As anybody knows, okay, governments don't have compassion. So we need to go through there and start looking at these children need compassion, they need stability, they need foundational homes, all right? We have great success with our abortion issue. Now we have children being born, which is wonderful. Now we need to go through there and get them into foundational, structured homes that they can go through and grow up and become contributors to the state of Texas. I have a sign-up sheet over here, so if you're not getting my emails, I'll keep you informed on what's happening with these bills and others. And appreciate the time very much, Eduardo.
Well, what an exciting morning for us here in the northwest part of Houston. I will be in touch, or we will be in touch with Liz. We've already talked about possibly having the Menudo Club meet here on the northwest side on the third Saturday of every month. So that is probably what we're going to end up doing. And just so that you know that traditionally the Menudo Club, we meet the first Saturday of the month at Ninfa's on the Gulf Freeway in Monroe. So what I was trying to do, and we definitely, because of Liz's help and also Sandra Soto, Sandra Bramble, we were able to do this in a way that I did not have to rob, or we did not have to rob any of our audience from the Monroe site to fill this up, and that's very promising. We will also be moving and inaugurating the Menudo Club in Victoria, Texas within the next 2 months. Please remember to go to our website, SaturdayMenudoClub.com, and order your mug. And I can just tell you on a personal level that I'm very grateful to our team with Carmen and Andy. You know, particularly Andy. Andy and I are the ones who founded this club originally, because he had called me one Saturday and asked me who had the best menudo in town. And so we started going to different little restaurants, trying their menudo. And then this was born out of that, because we started inviting friends. But to think Andy back then, and Carmen at the time when we were at Chapultepec on Alabama, you know, and we'd have gatherings of 7 to 11 people if we were lucky, to where we are now in a very, very short time, shows what can be done on a grassroots level. And I don't mean to be insulting, but we have done this without any help from the Harris County GOP. That's right. And I am willing to say that we do not need their help. Because the messages that we're sending are very strong. The media is covering us. And that's what's needed. And like I said, we are planting these seeds.
Are you a leader hungry for meaningful discussions and real solutions? Then the Saturday Menudo Club is calling your name. Join us every first Saturday of the month from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at various restaurants in Houston, where leaders in our community gather over delicious menudo and Mexican food. It's not just about the food, it's about the people who add flavor to the dialogue. We address crucial issues like education, commerce, government waste, family concerns, faith, crime, homelessness, and making a difference. Our gatherings feature renowned speakers who inspire us to take action, and every event is recorded for our YouTube channel and website. Get ready, the Saturday Menudo Club is coming to a restaurant near you. Connect with like-minded leaders, exchange ideas, and work together towards a brighter future. Visit SaturdayMenudoClub.com to join the club today. Remember, it's not just a meal, it's a media experience for leaders. Stay hungry, my friends. 1, 2, 3.
Ya no más!